Hey guys! So, it seems as though the principles that we started out mapping in the beginning of the lecture series do play out structurally in real people, and they manifest the psychological effects that we would expect to see in the symmetries that we outlined. Personally, it is beyond doubt to me that there's a phenomenon here that lay beneath the surface, and it's also beyond doubt for me that this phenomenon reflects, in a way, what Carl Jung was pointing at originally. But of course, I can't fully allow myself to say categorically that we have found the truth of type without this being first vetted by other scientific bodies and verified by them, because they would be the ones that actually ultimately determine whether or not this phenomenon is objective. But that's something that will come with time. And what I have to do, and what we have to do, is work towards making that final outcome a reality in which we've solved the typological puzzle which Carl Jung first gave us. But that's only going to happen with passion and drive and vision. So I want to present you guys with my vision of where this is headed, where I'm heading with it, and where I think we'll see each other in, let's say, 5 years' time. So we're at the end of August now. At the beginning of September, I'm starting my third Voltology class. And our goal is that by the end of this year, we'll have 20 certified practitioners. That's 20 people who have been trained at the highest level to understand these signals, to comprehend, and to type with each other at 90% plus consensus. If you have that group of 20 people who are fully trained and can understand this phenomenon, then you can start to gather more data much more quickly. Moving forward towards November, I'm going to be publishing a revised version of the Cognitive Type book with a few long overdue edits and updates. And then this December, I'm going to be publishing a second book, which is essentially an edited transcript of this year's lecture series. The lectures I've created this year are actually a series of essays that I wrote, all of which add up to hundreds of pages. And so putting that in a book format will allow people to reference it much more easily in the future. Now we move to January of 2023. We're going to be seeing our first journal issue of cognitive typology. We've already talked about some papers in this lecture series, which are essentially preprints that will be refined and edited, then added to this first issue, along with several other studies that we haven't published yet. Now skipping forward a bit. Midway through next year, there'll be another book published. Now, I've had this book in mind for years now, and the aim of this book is to provide somebody in a clinical setting, in a therapeutic setting, a guide for how to apply the principles of this model in psychoanalysis or psychodynamics. And this book will essentially be a summarization of all the content that's on the Cognitive Typology website right now. All the behavioral profiles that have been written and the ones that have not been written will be finished and put into this massive guide. Now, fourthly, and perhaps most importantly, there's also going to be a book called the Cognitive Typology Architecture. And this book will be about what I call Model 2. Now, Model 2 is something we'll get into in the future, but it is the more technical side of CT, essentially taking the idea that the functions are information processing styles, literally to the point where it tries to define what that processing would look like in an analogous computer program. So using pseudocode, for example, it tries to explain how an information set would go into the function, be modified, and be outputted differently. And so this places Model 2 firmly in the realm of cognitive science with neural networks and AI research, as well as neuroscience. And it also has the advantage of very precisely defining what it is we mean by a function. Compared to something like Model 2, most typology models out there remain fundamentally behavioral in nature. I mean, they might say, for example, fi is a function that does this or that, but where's the math behind it? How exactly does it parse information? There's no algorithmic comprehension of what lies behind that function. What is the constitution of the function? What is the source code of that function? And so that is all going to be explained in very rich detail in this book, the Cognitive Typology Architecture. Now, on top of all this, with the 20 plus certified readers that we're going to have, we're going to be growing the database along the way to the point where by the end of next year, we want to hit 2,000 database samples. So now let's recap. We're at the end of 2023. We have 4 books out on cognitive type. We have at least 20 certified practitioners, and we have 2,000 plus database samples. Now, fast forward 2 more years to 2025, and we expect the database samples to be at 10,000. How? Well, the Voltologists will also have grown to around 50, especially as some of these Voltologists also become themselves instructors. And as we have more Voltologists, we also have more readings. Now, at a sample size of 10,000, we can do some really amazing things. That unlocks a lot of potential for different kinds of studies to be done. Studies that focus on much more niche questions, such as the relationship between ADHD and type, or the relationship between mental disorders and type. And again, all that information, all that data will be added yet again to another journal issue. So these are the stats that I'm aiming at for 2025. And the reason I feel confident that we can get there is because the model is scalable. A lot of work, a lot of years have gone into making sure that it is scalable, it is teachable, it is clear enough, and it is concise enough to be reproducible. Now from there, further than 2025, I can't really say with full certainty, but my hope is that it continues to grow exponentially, developing more studies, publishing more books, publishing more articles, starting a movement in the Jungian typology community until the point where we can secure funding from universities and other academic bodies to do even larger studies at the scale of 50,000, maybe even 100,000 samples. Then at that level, I imagine we'll start seeing patterns that we're not even thinking of right now, things that we haven't even glimpsed in the data yet, but which will emerge as we understand more and more of the human equation, as we provide more examples of human expressions of the 16 types. And talking about this gets me so excited. I can't wait for that future to come. And so I want to invite you guys watching these videos, those of you who see and believe the phenomena I'm describing, I'd like to invite you to join the class to become a voltologist. Help make this the future of typology, help make this the future of human understanding, psychological understanding. We need as many people as we can get trained to high competency in order to make this manifest. Now, what's involved in the class are not only weekly Zoom meetings, not only detailed gift breakdowns, not only a certificate at your door when you finish, but we're actually extending the class duration for as long as you need. It used to be 6 weeks, but if in those 6 weeks you don't manage to learn the method fully to get 90% or plus consensus, you'll have other periodic opportunities to retake the exam again. And in the meantime, you'll continue to have server access, access to me, access to the other instructors to really learn the method. And so if that interests you, if this future I'm talking about interests you and you want to be a part of it, the link is down in the description. And also some people approached me and said that they really want to learn, they want to be part of this, but the price is a little high. Don't worry about that. Talk to me, we'll figure something out. What matters to me more so than anything else is to put this information out there, to teach other people to see this, because the more people that see this, the more we all understand human nature. This is about the research and getting as many people into the research as possible. So I'm really looking forward to working with you guys, and I can't wait to start the next class with you. So with that, I'll see you guys there. Take care.